Hello, I am Dr. Randall Bell. Welcome back to Core IQ, where we learn the things we all need to know, but we don't necessarily learn in school. And we learn things like goal setting, time management, negotiation. We're here with JC Cavitt. Good to see you.
Thank you, Dr. Bell.
Yeah, and we're here to talk about an important topic. It's identifying triggers for high-risk situations. And you know, JC, you did these graphics. I just want to let people know before we let you get into it that these are on the website, coreiq.com. You can print out the PDF. Of course, with all Core IQ, there's never a charge anywhere. But there's an assessment which we wanted to take, but we're really kind of going to focus on this particular graphic, which is up here. So, JC, let's start off with this title. You called this Identifying Triggers for High-Risk Situations. What's this topic all about?
So first thing is to understand what actually is a trigger.
Okay.
A trigger is anything that kind of threatens your emotional, physical space or well-being, if you will.
So something that kind of sets you off. And I notice here you have people, places, and things. Give us some examples.
Absolutely. So generally triggers break down into these three categories.
Okay.
And so, for example, people. There are some people that I may not necessarily like to be around for whatever reason. Maybe they talk a certain way, maybe they belittle people. And because of my own experience growing up, people talking down to me could be a trigger. And so when I hear that or see that, that can activate me.
Okay? You know, I noticed, I hear you, some people can be toxic, and some people, you know, I've triggered people and I had nothing to do with what they were triggered, but I just reminded them of someone, you know, or maybe you have, I don't know. But, you know, but people can trigger both either intentionally or unintentionally or not having nothing to do with it. But that's some great examples. What about places?
So places, again, depending on my background, depending on my history, if for example, if I am a recovering addict, going to the bar is probably not a good place for me to be.
Yeah.
You know, the same if I work with at-risk youth who are trying to get out of the gangs. They're trying to get out of the gangs, but I'm playing around in gang neighborhood or going to places, environments where gang members are. That could be a very high risk situation for that individual.
Okay, and the word that kind of comes to mind as you're teaching us this is you're flirting with the wrong people, you're flirting with the wrong places. My brother's an alcoholic. He's been recovered for 20 plus years. Very proud of him, but he sometimes drives different routes home from work, so he doesn't go by some of these places that kind of get it going.
Absolutely.
And he's been very successful, and you know, in that. And what about things?
So things could be sounds. I've been around people who were triggered by party poppers. You know, these little toy things going off, and people literally like trying to duck, thinking that it reminds them of gunshots.
Yeah, and it reminds me of you know, these folks that come back as veterans, which we all thank and respect, but they hear a car backfire or something, and it triggers them. You know, from the places they come from.
Absolutely. Just think about some songs. You can hear a song and it can instantly take you back.
Oh yeah.
You know, to a first girlfriend, first love, or the first party.
Yeah.
Same with food. Certain foods remind you of mom's cooking.
Yeah.
So things.
Okay, so we've talked about the triggers, and let's talk about symptoms. Of course, symptoms are how things kind of manifest. And I see you have three categories here. Let's start with identifying triggers. What's that all about?
So identifying triggers is really, and this is you knowing yourself, knowing what charges you, knowing what activates you. It's beneficial to know your triggers and know them well.
Okay.
So identify them first.
So you got the triggers. You got to know, is mine a person, a place, a thing? What specifically it is?
Absolutely.
Okay.
And it can be all three of these things as well.
Wow. Okay. And then we got catch the body sensations. What's that all about?
So once I'm triggered, your body will give off signals. Usually you'll experience your palms sweating, butterflies in your stomach, your heart may start to race a little bit. For me, my eyes get really red. My voice kind of goes up an octave when I'm triggered and I'm activated. And that's a good place to catch yourself right there at the body sensations.
So recognize self-talk. What's that all about?
So when I'm activated, especially in a negative sense, the self-talk will have me believing I have to act out. I have to respond in a certain kind of a way.
Okay. So anything else you want to talk about with these symptoms?
I think with the symptoms, if you can catch the symptoms, you can interrupt the negative effects of being triggered.
So you got the trigger and you got the end result, but in between are these symptoms. And if you can
Yes.
kind of pause and be aware of them and maybe, just identify them, the symptoms, that's the starting point of kind of managing all this.
Absolutely.
Okay, so then we got remedies. These are solutions, and that's what we're here at Core IQ to learn are solutions. The first one is breathe.
People don't give breathing enough credit, but
Yeah.
it's the thing that keeps us going.
Yeah.
And if we just simply take time, especially when we're activated and we're triggered and we realize that we are in a high risk situation, taking the time to simply breathe, get oxygen flowing into your body, it can calm you down, it can ground you even.
Okay. Yeah, breathing is huge. In
Absolutely.
fact, in the volunteer work, we talk about grounding. My doctors talk about breathing and grounding, meditation, whatever you want to call it. Breathing is huge. What's the next one?
This is one of the big ones too. Let's say I breathe in and I'm still charged. The next step would be to create distance between you and whatever's triggering you.
Yeah.
And then when you create that distance, I would encourage you to breathe in that new place that you go to.
Yeah, I hear you. Another little. I'm taking all this great information. I'm thinking how it applies. Just this last weekend, we had some friends over, but the woman started saying something that was really triggering. Frankly, it was offensive, and I felt that charged feeling. And I thought, you know what? I need to kind of wander off, or I'm going to tell this chick where to go. So it's kind of recognizing the symptoms and creating some distance between me and her for a little bit, so I didn't
Absolutely.
say something regrettable.
Regret, yeah.
I can learn. Okay, what's the next one we got?
This is the action step here. So you want to start to unpack what was so triggering about this, the person, the place, or the thing, and try to dig down to understand the why. Because if you can get to the why, then you can empower yourself to be in places that used to trigger you and you no longer are activated the same.
That was like a perfect refrigerator magnet quote. That was profound. Probably have to go back and watch that again. Okay, so we breathe, we create distance between ourselves and whatever's triggering us. So we kind of unpacked our feelings. And what's our last step?
The last thing is you want to create strategies for yourself. So for some people, it takes some practice. I think earlier you had mentioned a brother taking an alternative route home to avoid some places.
The bars, right?
The bars, right?
Yeah.
So that is a perfect strategy to cope with high-risk situations. So if you know that there's people, places, and things, and if you can help avoiding them, absolutely avoid them. Save yourself the risk, the time, the energy of being activated in the first place.
What this is just a brilliant game plan you put together, because we all face high risk situations
Every day.
Even here in Orange County, where everything's perfect, or anywhere around the world, there's high risk situations. We identify the triggers. We recognize how it affects our, the symptoms, and then we have intelligent remedies.
Absolutely.
Thanks for sharing it, man.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So, like Core IQ, share Core IQ, keep talking about Core IQ, and we will see you next time.